Hello and welcome to the very first Motorhome Gap Year YouTube video. I'm Tony, this is Paula. We want to chart our adventures of spending a year, senior gap year no less, in a motorhome. Our journey started, I guess, back in November. We've had a hotel in Scarborough for 4 years. We had a 5-year plan that went a bit awry when someone approached us about buying it, and it sent us on the buying journey. And then when that happened, someone bought it, this all happened. And I think the motorhome journey was probably your idea, Paula.
I don't know. I think it was maybe a glass or two of wine, and then
Mm-hmm.
what shall we do next? And decided that the next adventure would be this, to travelling in the motorhome. So there was lots of research involved in what we should buy. Tony spent many a late night, up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the
Mm-hmm.
morning, looking at the pros and cons of so many different motorhomes that are out there that include everything that we want in them. Made our choice, went and bought it, and that didn't go so well, did it?
Didn't exactly go to plan. No, I think the whittling down process was hard because I did have the job of research and I didn't know where to start. Motorhomes, camper vans. Should explain there's three kind of broad ideas here. You've got the camper van, which is a van made out for camping, which is quite small. You've then got the A-class motorhome, which is the coach-built big one, a bit like your Winnebago, but some of them are a bit smaller, but still big. And in the middle, you've got the B-class or coach-built motorhome, which is based on a vehicle chassis,
Which is what we bought.
which we knew we wanted
Yeah.
that. We knew we wanted an automatic. I'm the driver, and I wanted that because it's bad enough driving a big beast like this without worrying about gears. And we also knew we wanted a fixed bed, in our case an island bed, which is just basically a double bed that sits in the back with a door you close.
And it's always made up. There's none of this fanning around in the evening,
Mm,
putting your bed, making your bed up and getting all your linen out. And we don't
mm,
do that. Your bed's there. When you want to go to bed, you just go to bed. And when you get up in the morning, you get up and
mm,
you're in your lounge like you would be at home.
mm. And I should say from there, a lot of things are standard. If you don't know about motorhoming, you effectively have central heating nowadays, so it's really warm. That will work off gas or mains hookup when you're on a campsite.
And that was one of the problems with the first motorhome, wasn't it? We
Mm,
fetched the first motorhome. We were really excited. We brought it home. And basically, it's a newish model and it had lots of problems with it. Basically, the heating didn't work if you put the fridge out and it ran the battery down. And various other things. There were lots of things that were wrong with it. And eventually, we had to return it to where we bought it from. And after a little bit to and fro, and they actually gave us our money back because they
mm,
couldn't fix it, could they? They couldn't
mm,
give us what we wanted and what we'd paid for. So we got our money back and started the research journey again.
mm,
More time, Tony
mm.
spending time in the evening, looking for the perfect motorhome for us, and we went and took the plunge and we bought this little Rapido.
I think in a way the second time is easier because
Yeah,
we then moved the goalposts a bit. We compromised. There's always compromise. The previous one had a combined shower and toilet, which is not ideal. You had to move things around. We've got a separate shower now, slightly bigger, but we'll live with that. I've now built my confidence in driving. It's actually a French-built version. The other one was British, and all the bits fell off. So I don't know what conclusion you draw. Maybe why we don't have a British car industry,
yeah.
because these things are built, and they would. It
The
clearly
quality
wasn't.
is so much better in
We
this.
can't name names as to the make of it because we're obliged not to by law. But it was a terrible experience, and I've got to be honest. I threw my toys out of the pram and didn't want to do this thing anymore at one point because it just had
It was
marred the whole thing.
depressing.
Yeah, and we started again. We picked up just over a week ago from the biggest retailer in the UK, Brownhills at Newark. Very different story. Not only was the whole thing incredibly slick, they have their own site. They give you a free night to stay away. They give you 20 other free nights to use their site.
Mm,
The site's even got a swimming pool, free breakfast in the cafe,
yeah.
and the service they gave us was remarkable. We've got one tiny problem which they can put right. The other one had a shopping list of
Oh
problems.
gosh, yeah.
And this is a really well built place. And if you're living in it for a year, it's important.
Mm.
Now, the other thing about it, we've learned this has got a very big water tank because we want to do what they would call off grid camping or wild camping. We don't want to be on sites. We will go when we have to top up our electricity and water, but that's it. So we hopefully can go a number of nights. Now, I should explain the standard batteries you get are lead acid, a bit like you have in your car. Nowadays, you have lithium. The last one had a standard battery. which didn't even last more than 4 hours. It
No.
should have lasted maybe a couple of nights, 3
It
nights.
wouldn't, would it?
The lithium equivalent probably lasts about 4 or 5 nights. We've since fitted one. I'm very proud of myself. I actually did it. I'm not good at DIY. I fitted a second lithium battery. Would have cost £2,500. I've done it for 700. So we've now got capacity for probably a week off gridding.
Yeah.
And that's important. We just don't want to be on a site. No offence to other people, but the whole point of this journey, we don't want to plan it that way, do we?
No, we want to be free and to do what we want to do
Yeah.
when we want to do it. So if we want to stay somewhere for a few nights, we can. If it's one night, we'll move on. If we want to move out, move on during the day when we want to spend a few hours there, we can do that.
I will do a video tour at some point, but we've got a 3-ring hob, we've got an oven, we've got all the mod cons really. It's just a bit smaller. But our plan at the moment is I'm driver, I remain chef, as I always am. Paula is in charge of locations. It's a bit harder now, isn't it?
Yeah. You've done the basic route, haven't you? Where we're going to start and where we're going. But then it's my job to try and find us somewhere to stay every night, basically somewhere nice. Or sometimes it might be at the side of the road. It could be in a pub car park. They'll let you, lots of pubs welcome you now to stay overnight in the car park. It can be a public car park. It can be just by the seafront. On a lot of places still allow you just to park on the seafront. They don't in Scarborough now, and that's unfortunate.
I should say a lot of places don't, unfortunately.
Yeah,
even
they
now.
don't. But some places you still can. So we'll do that where we can, and just see what the future holds with that, really.
But I've broadly got a route now around the country that will be clockwise. At the moment, we'll probably start a good old Skeggy, which, having lived in Nottingham and you're a Nottingham gal, Skeggy was always somewhere you went to. We might start there, go round to Cromer, around to North Norfolk, Suffolk, then down to Kent, along to Sussex, Dorset, Devon, Cornwall, then back up to Wales. And in fact, I sat up the other night, I came up with 98 places to stop.
And obviously somewhere along there we are doing Scotland. We want to do the NC 500, and I guess that could come in somewhere along the way when the weather's correct. It'd probably be around May time. So around May, wherever we are in the country, we'll break off and go and do the Scotland leg, and then we'll come back and resume wherever we are. It's a big thing to do the NC 500. It looks amazing.
Well, I think you've wanted to do it a long time. We honeymooned in Scotland. We loved it, including the Highlands. So we look forward to that. I think then that's fine in the summer. We're luckily now, we were going in February, we're now going in March, which is good. We could delay the sale of the hotel, but it does mean that we're going off hopefully in not awful weather. If it does get pretty awful in the next winter, given that this is a plan for a year, then I think we might be off to France and we'll be more confident. But I should say on the back of all this, the plan of doing the UK coast is finding where to live next.
Yeah.
This is our quest. We think this is an amazing adventure. We had 4 years of adventure in Scarborough. This is a year or more. Who knows? We may love it. We may just stay in here and become gypsies.
Who knows?
That's it. But we probably won't. But we don't. We maybe, as Paula says, maybe 3 months. We may hate each other and decide we need to rent somewhere. But we do want to look at various places. Again, I've been doing late night research, looking at where we could go. It may be holiday flats. It may be any sort of other venture. I don't think we'd ever want a hotel again. I think we've done that. But we've looked at different things. I even found the other day a jeweller's in Hastings I fancied buying. Paula looked at me odd, like she often does. I think it would need a bit of work. She said, we know nothing about it. I said, yeah, but we learn quick. I also have a yearning to have a restaurant, always have done, maybe a vintage tea rooms that's restaurant by night, a few nights a week. I love to cook. Not sure I'd be up to that, but I could learn. But we don't know. We're not done yet, are we?
We don't know. No, we're willing to look at anything. So you never know. There's something really bizarre could come out of this. We could end up doing something we never even thought of. Who knows?
I've been told, I had a business for 20 odd years before we came here. So many people I encountered saying, I've always wanted my own business. People have come here and said, I've always wanted to live by the sea. I've always wanted a hotel or a guest house. Then we're kind of more of the mindset, well, then do it. Don't talk about it, because as Paula says so often, life is short.
It is. You never know what's around the corner. We're very healthy at the moment. I've had my knees done, so I can get about now. 2 bionic knees, so I've got my knees done, so we can walk wherever we want to go. So that's a good thing. But we are really well at the moment. But you really don't know what's around the corner. Nobody's guaranteed us tomorrow. So live for today, and while we're well and able to go and do this, Len, let's do it. And
I recently did have a bad back. I've got my whole life of virtually nothing wrong with me, and they told me it's degenerative, which actually, if you read in the thesaurus, it means I'm just old. I accept I'm old. But my cheery osteopath, my sort of age, said, you do realise we've both got 10 to 15 years of active life left. He's now since left osteopathy, and he's gone on to be a life coach. But anyway, it's true. And Paula's a bit younger than me, but you know, I'm past 60. We don't know how long we've got to live this life we're about to live, and the next adventure. But we've got this, we've got the next adventure, and who knows whether there's another one. Never say never.
You never say never. You don't know what might rear its head, and we could have something amazing to do. Actually, at one point I did find that deck chair business, and you were selling deck chairs on the beach, Harry the Mountain. Tony was a bit up for that, and that surprised me because it was supposed to be a joke, and then Tony was like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "No."
We've since realised never say anything witty because I might just be doing it, and I fancy myself. As long as I've got a hat, I think I would want a hat to be the deck chair attendant. But no, you really don't know. And also, we've looked at maybe property to do up. We both fancy that. We've both got some experience. Do that and something else, something seasonal. We don't know. Answers on a postcard. And I should say as well, people have been giving us lots of suggestions about where to go, and we're making a list, and we don't want to miss anything. When I looked at my 98 places, and that's sort of doing a third of the country, there's so much out there. I think I know the south very well, being a Londoner. I know the south coast, and we've both been around the country a lot. We've already got our dots on the map, but there's so many little nooks and crannies, and it's like all those little bays and little so-and-so point, you know, that we want to do. So that will take time.
Yeah, the beauty of doing what we're doing is we can park up somewhere and we can go and explore the little bays, then come back, move along the coast, and do some more bays, and then stop somewhere overnight, or stop a night or two if it's somewhere that we're enjoying.
So that's us so far. We hope to do this once a week at the weekend if we get round to it. I say if we're not talking, it'll be one of us, and then the other one can do the other half. We've also got Motorhome Gap Year on just about every bit of social media, including X and Facebook and Instagram and Blue Sky and Threads. We're probably going to even do TikTok at some point if we can get our heads around it. I know we're a bit old for it, but the whole point is
the youngsters to tell her to do it.
This is a senior gap year, so we can do whatever we want because there are no rules. So that's it for now. We will give a little tour of the motorhome. It's all been a bit drab, but we will do that at one point, explain it a bit more for those that maybe are thinking about doing it and a few months behind us in learning, because we've learned quite quickly about all the pros and cons and the pitfalls, we hope, and we'll keep you apprised of the situation. So goodbye for now.
Bye.